lives, like family based and shit.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers would go to a family's house that's doing good, like a black family, burn their house down, and crucify motherfuckers on burning crosses on their. So we have to remember just the fact that these people did that wearing those capes, bro.
SouLivate.
Yo, this is where you come to get your soul on. This is where you can soul off. And this is the place where you never soul out. I am your host, NazareN. This is SouLivate, and right across me is the always musical, the incredible Spencer motherfucking Reese, baby.
Yes, sir. That'd be me, the co-host of the most. What's up, my SouLivate fans?
So, talking about the crazy shit. So talk to me, man.
Yeah.
What do you, first of all, about Kanye, bro? What do you think about his whole swastika shit?
Okay.
First of all, the swastika shit. What do you know about it, man?
Well, I did a little research. I mean, I didn't go in depth, but I mean, I kind of get the gist that it was a whole thing going about him doing swastikas, I believe, on t-shirts for his website. Yeah, it was like that. I don't know if he did hoodies, but he did t-shirts with like swastikas. And like, I don't know if they sold out or if like people didn't buy them or
People
whatever.
bought it, bro. People bought it.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's Kanye. You know what I mean? And the internet just went absolutely bananas seeing that. And then, you know, yada yada. That was the first.
So what do you personally think about that, bro? Everything that you know about Hitler, swastika, like all of that. And him being Kanye, him being a black dude, him be like. Yeah. What do you think about all that, bro? Be honest.
Oh my God. It's not good to the public eye in any case, like at all. It's not good. It's like, I don't know if it was for a fucking meme or something or a joke or like what it was for. You probably got more knowledge to that, but like, I mean, there's just so much bad negative history behind that symbol. It's like, trying to throw that on merch is just like such a bomb to the
do you know
society.
Do you know the back history of this whole like new Kanye?
No, can you, all right, for the viewers and for me, please.
No, but
please give me update.
If
you have any.
The crazy shit is that I know that you know about it. So remember when all of a sudden Kanye kind of had a nervous breakdown? That's what they called it. Do you remember that?
Yes, yeah.
So you remember what it was? He had a concert.
Yeah.
And you remember, like, in the middle of the concert, he comes out, he stops the music and shit, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I had something pop up on the screen. So all of a sudden, he stops the music and he starts talking to the crowd. There's like 30,000 people in the crowd. And he starts going, fuck Jay-Z, fuck the radio. They all playing you, like, they all control your minds and shit. Like, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Which were, if you really listen to it, it's not really crazy and shit. Like, he's telling people kind of how everything works.
Right. And people ain't going to believe that, you know, Gen Z is. But.
So the next night, he ends up in a mental institution that his wife at the time, Kim Kardashian, puts him in, basically.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Sadly. So I saw the headlines. I was confused, but yeah.
So he comes out of the mental institution after like 5 days and shit. And they're talking about, oh, you know, he just went crazy, had a nervous breakdown. He got bipolar and shit.
Yeah.
A little bit time goes by. All of a sudden, Kanye, well, he went all Christian and shit, tried to do gospel music, said he's not cursing in his music, even though he did a whole song with Lil Pump. Go figure, man.
Yeah, that song, I can't lie, that song kind of bangs though, but that shit's kind of.
You remember that song?
Yeah. He's such a effing hoe. I love it. Yeah.
While he's all, you know, rocking white and shit and talking about, oh, Jesus and all of that shit, like, it's Kanye, bro.
Crazy. Insane.
But he does it, you know, and you got to remember, he got contracts with Adidas, Louis Vuitton, like all of this shit.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he comes on to some interview and he says, yo, fuck the Jewish people.
Crazy.
because the Jewish people run the industry. He's backing off what he was saying kind of at the concert when supposedly he had nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Kanye loses supposedly the contracts, like he loses billions of dollars because banks don't want to fuck with him. Louis Vuitton, no.
Question, sorry to cut you off real quick because I'm just curious. So with the banks, like how does that work with them? Like what were they cutting them off from? Like funding for like marketing or like what would
First
they
of all, there's all types of funding because you got to remember, like with people like him, with banks, like he's an investment. But it wasn't just that; it was all of these major banks. They didn't want to hold his assets anymore, bro.
What?
So
no
imagine,
way they dropped his assets.
So remember, right now
No
we're not talking about 100,000, a million. We're talking about this dude is got billions, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So Kanye's like, oh, word? Y'all gonna do that shit? And you talking about Jewish people don't run the industry? Like it's only like y'all gonna do that? All right, fuck yeah. I'm gonna come out with a swastika necklace and some t-shirts, bro.
Crazy. Crazy. Shut the fuck out.
So now knowing that, what do you think, man?
God, it's hard to speak on. I mean, because at the end, it's still
baby.
not good.
Speak your mind, baby.
It's hard because this is a very touchy subject. But like, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, here's the thing, right? Media in general is ran by certain types of people, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's music, arts, like national television, like any of that shit. Again, I've not invested into as much to know that like Jewish people run music. You probably know more about it than me. I'm younger, so I don't know too much. But I don't know if it's right though to say like fuck Jewish people necessarily rather than just say fuck those people individually. Because when think about it like this, right? You say a statement like that, you're calling out because that's the thing with Kanye. Sometimes I've noticed with Kanye, he'll call not colonies, but like groups out specifically, like, you know, whether it be like certain ethnicities, not individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's come at Disney, you know, he's come at Shopify, you know, bigger umbrellas. That's kind of been his thing. So I don't know. It just kind of confuses me why he specifically like targeted just Jewish people rather than saying just certain people's names. Like I would have just rather fucking name dropped and like done that and been more bold about it than just blame all Jewish people because that's how the public will take it.
So
you know what I mean? But it's
look, if people maybe don't remember, and I'm gonna remind y'all, right?
Yeah, hit me.
Hitler, Adolf Hitler, we say, right, in German and shit. He burnt in concentration camps over 6 million Jewish people.
Yeah.
And in the Soviet Union, the numbers are like over 37 million people, Slavic people were killed, you know, from Polish to Russian to over 37 million people. So keep that in mind, right?
Yeah.
Now check this out. I'm gonna drop some crazy and we're gonna tie it back together, right? Because this is SouLivate, right?
He's gonna start dropping them.
Look, Jewish people, Jewish. Now, Kanye and a lot of people like the 5%ers and a lot of people know that there's a difference between a Jew and a Jewish person.
Okay.
So the Black Israelites, they say that they are the real Jews because if you look at geographically where Israel is, there's no way that white people could come from, you know, there. They are the original Jews. So the Ashkenazi Jews, which are the European Jews, they mainly come from Eastern Europe, like where Poland and Ukraine and Russia is.
Yeah.
They call them Jewish.
Okay.
Now, sorry, and also European Jews, basically, like the Rockefellers and the Great Britain and everything, right? So
yeah,
I always remind these people, Jewish people, right? They figured out very early that they are a minority in the world and they have to stick together. So during
Definitely.
World War II, when they were being destroyed, they kept the money close with these large families like Rockefellers and and all of these different Rothschilds and shit. You know what I'm saying? They figured out that they have to keep the money within the family. So what they would do is in World War II, they would inbreed within the family. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? A brother marries a cousin, whatever, because inbreds, right? Because they didn't want the wealth to get out of the families.
No
And
shit.
while the whole world was collapsing, they started to take over all the industries, banking, Hollywood, music, all of that shit, right?
Because they what? Because they had money, or like was
Well,
it?
you got to remember, because they had money, and also this crazy Hitler guy, while he was part Jewish, also he was destroying all of these Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? So in
It's
order
crazy.
not, because remember, Jewish people are a minority in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is a fact that most of Jewish people run, all the biggest corporations in the world, from
Corporate America
oil
plus.
to diamonds to Hollywood to music to all of that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so just keep that in mind. It's not, that there's a conspiracy or whatever. They were just the first people to figure out that they're a minority and they got to stick together, right?
Definitely.
Now, the swastika, a lot of people don't know. A swastika is an ancient Slavic symbol. It's not
Yes.
Buddhist, because people think it's Buddhist, because in Buddhism they use it as a sign of tranquility, but it's much earlier than that. If you look it up on Google, they will say Aryan tribes, but it wasn't Aryan tribes, it was Slavic tribes
Yeah.
it was a symbol for the sun. Now,
Mm.
knowing what I just told you, right? Do you think that Kanye knows these things? Or Kanye is only doing this shit because he wants more publicity and the shock factor, and everyone has to talk about him?
Both. Both easily. I would not I mean, Kanye is a very intelligently calculated person, period. It wouldn't be surprising. I mean, if he already knows so much about being in the industry as a musician and what comes with it, let alone just information about history. I mean, of course he's going to use that as a shock factor. And I mean, you know, clearly if he got his assets taken away from such, he's going to use something like that as a way to target back and get his get back, I guess. I don't know. But possibly I feel like it might be both.
So,
Maybe.
did you, before the academics interview, right? Did
Yeah.
you before the KKK cape and all of that? Did you see his t-shirts? He also had these t-shirts for sale on Twitch. White Lives Matter.
I remember hearing about it. I didn't really look into it, but I remember hearing like things about it. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like everybody's lives matter personally, like no matter what. But for him individually as Kanye to go do that, you know what I mean? It's definitely same deal. It's going to be a controversial move on purpose. I
But
feel like
why are
still there's
we
a
so
shock factor to it.
shocked with it? Because remember when the whole Black Lives Matter movement happened
Yes.
and shit was destroyed all around the country and everything? Like we understood the message, right? Black people were saying, look, Black Lives Matter. Like motherfuckers are getting shot by cops and shit.
Yeah.
But when someone of a figure of a Kanye comes out with a t-shirt that says white lives matter, why are we so shocked?
I mean, I think it's because we took BLM and we made it a norm. I mean, we decided to take that whole, movement and put it in front of media to push it. You know what I'm saying? And like I mean, at the end of the day, like it's not like you saw like, or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not as educated, but Chinese lives matter, Mexican lives matter,
You
like
know,
so on and so
I'm
forth.
sorry
So I
for
don't know.
interrupting you.
No, go ahead, man.
You know that another Jewish mogul was behind the BLM movement, right? Or is behind George Soros.
No shit. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the guy that created and funded funded the Black Lives Matter movement,
I never knew that. That's
to
sick.
cause panic and destruction and all of that. But my
What?
question is, us as a society, why are we so shocked when we see a white lives matter t-shirt? Why? Like, is that wrong?
I don't think it's not. Nah, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, it's not going to be accepted as much in society because, like, your
But why,
perspective
bro?
on what it means. But that's the
Why?
problem. It's because people are sensitive. They don't want to go outside of a concept. You know what I mean?
But if we
People.
can say Black Lives Matter, why can't we say White Lives Matter, bro?
Not exactly. Why can't we? We can. At the end of the day, anybody can say whatever they want to say. I'm very big on free speech, no matter what. I think. I mean, just in the general aspect of things, I just feel like a lot of people are just pussies. Like
So
real talk, like they just can't go outside of their brain or educate or learn or just like even I think it's like about hearing other people and their point of view on it. People can't break their own to be able to listen to the other side and why they think that, you know, or why they represent that. As far as Kanye, maybe, I mean, he's a huge superstar, so he's I don't know. You go.
so what do you think about the cherry on the cake, the KKK, bro? What do you know about the KKK, bro?
I mean, well, obviously they're an anti, you know, an anti group of hateful individuals
But
that kill
historically,
black
do you
people.
know what they did?
Please. Nah.
Yo, they were
I mean, I should, but
in
yeah.
the 50s, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, right? When the abolishment of you know what I'm saying, like, what do you call it? Segregation was going on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, these groups formed, and what they would do is they would do public lynchings,
Yeah.
and they would go to people. You got to remember, the black community back then, they were living like really good Christian lives, like family based and shit.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers would go to a family's house that's doing good, like a black family, burn their house down, and crucify motherfuckers on burning crosses
Yeah,
in
it's
on their.
crazy.
So we have to remember
Fuck.
just the fact that these people did that wearing those capes, bro.
Right. Right.
This was not too long ago. So what do you think about it now, like when we are reminded of this vivid shit, bro?
I don't think it's I mean, in my opinion, I do not think it's fucking great to bring up the past and how negative that shit is. I mean, there's a lot of other ways you could shock people, and I don't think that's really a great way to do it. But I mean, Kanye's Kanye. He has a reason for fucking everything in his world. So maybe there's some wonderful reason he has something to talk about it for. I could never I mean, like
So
I can't rock with it personally. It's
I
not
got
my jit.
I got two theories, and I want to know what you think about it, right?
Yeah, please, dude.
The first theory obviously is Kanye is a marketing genius to such a crazy extent that we can't even fathom, because he's having people talk about this shit. Like, everybody's talking about, everybody's shocked. It's like, oh my God, right? So he's
Yeah.
doing it for marketing purposes only.
Yeah.
Or he got to the level, this is my theory number two, where
Yeah.
he's saying, look, why can't I do this shit? I'm about to flip the whole script on you, just like the you know what I'm saying, the N-word and shit,
Yeah.
right? Like, black people using the N-word, like they flipped it on the world, right? Like, it was a negative thing, they made it into a positive thing. So this motherfucker is saying, look, y'all can't tell me like what to do. I'm gonna take something so hateful and I'm gonna stick it back into your faces, while talking about how black people are still being suppressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna release that suppression this way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So how
even
does that
when
release oppression though?
he told, because basically we're so it got so stigmatized, where we're like, okay, this is what this represents, and oh my God, I am so against it, and oh my God, like, this means only this one thing in history. He's
Yeah.
saying, like, fuck that, I'm about to flip it on y'all. Like, you
Mm.
can't tell me I can't do this shit, and I'm gonna do this shit, and I'm gonna make it into something completely different. I'm gonna make it into a freedom of speech, bro, where I'm gonna use this shit to talk about the problems that we currently have. Because he's all of a sudden he's talking about black babies being aborted, and the
Mm.
industry, you know what I'm saying, running shit, and like he's talking about he's dropping some jewels and shit. So what do you think about those two theories? Which one are you leaning more towards? That this is a crazy marketing scheme, or
Yeah.
this is an actual philosophical like movement, man?
I feel like it's I personally feel like it could be closer to a philosophical movement. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, there is I feel like a lot of suppression still that's left over from, what went on and what still lives today. You know what I mean? And that goes for all minorities, period. But it's not like it used to be. I mean, there has been progression through all minorities regardless. There has been, you know, a lot more jobs and things that
Bro,
have come out of life.
as
Like,
of today,
you know what I mean?
we're on equal stands as of today, bro. There's nothing that you can do black that you can do white, bro. In America, is nothing, bro.
No, for sure, for sure. Like I don't agree, or I don't disagree with that, excuse me. I think like certain things are in the past because they're in the past, and I mean, it's gonna take somebody crazy bold enough to try to flip the script and like kind of change the stigma about it. I mean, think about it. It's kind of like Kanye's trying to take a rotten apple and like turn it back into a clean apple, like a brand new one, something that people can prospectively see it as different. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe that's his intention with it. I mean, it's when that's the problem though. Like, again, like our generation is so fucking stupid and they're not going to think like that because what they see instantly is what they're instantly going to assume. It's not like they read in, or like actually hear what he's got to say. You
Or
know what
are
I
they
mean?
being told what to think? Basically, people
Well,
are being told what to think, bro.
that's what right. So
But
like, yeah,
check this out though, right? Like we also have to remember how graphic is what he's doing.
OD.
It's
It's crazy.
basically like, let's say, I hate to bring up this example, but let's say we're against pedophilia and
Yeah,
we come out with something pedophile like just to show an example that like imagine the like we would never accept that kind of shit. And this is kind of what he's doing. Because the historical context is there. All this violence and this hatred has happened
yeah.
with this symbolism. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
It's well, that's the thing. It's like you're trying to deal with influence on such a large level as somebody with so much power and money and things of that nature and connections, and it's is the loudest person in the room really going to be the one that's heard the most? It just makes me wonder, like, if is what Kanye's doing right now, are people actually going to see it for something different, or are they going to go for what they see? You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of negativity and hatred behind that shit that you can't just erase. Like, history does not erase it. You move on with life and you grow through things and like you live out past your past, but you can't change the past. And that's like, you can grow from it. You can always grow from the past no matter what. As you can see, we have progressed a lot. People have progressed a lot, but it's kind of like, is he trying to like make a new future? Or is he trying to use it as a way to tactically target and, shock people, obviously, with what it is, or maybe like get back at, Jewish people? I don't know.
because look, like in the Slavic
It's
world,
not good, but
I've been bringing back like swastikas and shit, you know what I'm saying? Slowly, because imagine for Slavic people, Hitler, what he did is he took the most sacred symbol that we had
mm,
and he came with that symbol to annihilate Slavs. Like, again, imagine over 37 million people were killed during World War II, whereas I remember, having grandmas and aunts and people that remembered the war, the shit that World War II, like it was insane.
yeah,
So I know that showing like the swastika to my people, it's still very shocking. Like people cannot accept it, right?
yeah,
But one thing that we have about the human brain is like a lot of times we won't understand the point of something unless we are slapped into it. This is a reason why like Gary V curses so much. He doesn't curse so much because it's part of his lexicon. He curses so much intentionally because it snaps people out of that fucking like, oh my god, he just said fucking.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. wakes
So
you up.
so I'm kind of picking up on what you are saying. Like, is Kanye doing the most shocking therapy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause like a motherfucker that gets hit in the head, like loses his memory. Sometimes the best thing to do is try to hit him in the head again to see if he's gonna get his memory back. Is that
Right.
shock therapy and shit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, you never know. You really never know. And again, I mean, and I'm gonna just say it as devil's advocate and just on the side of things. I mean, there is always another side to everything, no matter what. There's always going to be a reason to why he does what he does. We may never know it. We may find out. Who knows? But I mean, at the end of the day, too, like mental illness is a real thing. You don't know if what he's doing maybe could not be planned and he's just doing it to do it. There's I don't know, there's so many different like reasonable like ideals and like things that could be, but you just don't know.
You know what I'm leaning towards? That he's just a grimy tactical fucking marketing machine, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like he was talking Jesus and church and wearing all white, record like while he's recording songs with Lil Pump,
Yeah, so
basically
that's what I'm saying. It's like kind of hypocritical.
like that's some crazy shit. Because you got to remember, like back in the 90s when Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson, a boxer, right? He's sitting at a press conference. All of a sudden, he's jumping on his opponent's leg
Yeah.
and he's grabbing onto his leg. And later on, Lennox Lewis said, "Yo, this motherfucker was biting me, bro." And
What?
reporters and people watching, like thinking, "Yo, this dude is fucking crazy." But yo,
Yeah.
imagine the brand that Mike Tyson created. Even when he's 70 and you hear that Mike Tyson's about to fight, we're watching that shit, bro.
Yeah, of course. You're gonna tune in. It's Mike.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's my question. Is Kanye doing the same? Like, you don't really give a fuck about, like, is it hurting anybody? Is it this and that? Like,
Clearly not. He's full through on whatever he thinks is gonna work. I mean, for whatever his message is. He doesn't give a fuck who gets offended. I mean, but then again, that's kind of like it's not that great to say, but I mean, it's kind of like modern day prerogative. Why should you? Like, why should you actually give a fuck about what anybody thinks? You know? I mean, anybody's gonna hate on what you do regardless. People are gonna talk, and you're already
but you got to
Kanye
remember,
West. Like,
not to forget that these are also feelings of a people. So
yeah,
I'm going to give you an example, right?
true
And
that.
this is a bad example. Imagine someone hurts our families, right? God forbid.
Yeah.
And then comes out later like, yo, we're cool and everything, but I'm going to create a whole show around how I hurt your family. I'm going to
Yeah,
use
right.
that shit in order to make some money, bro.
Right. Yeah, it's messed up.
So, what do you think about it now? Like, is that justified, bro? Like,
I don't think I mean, if you're doing it for money, I don't think anything evil should be justifiable for money. At the end of the day, I think you should try to do something positive with yourself. And like, I don't know. But like, I don't know. I don't know.
listen, musically, how important is Kanye, man?
Musically, I
Yeah.
mean, he's very important. He's a star face of culture, rap music period. I mean, he's a legend for a
Do
lot
you
of different
fuck with
reasons.
him musically, like not as far as like a rapper but as far as like his compositions and shit? Do you fuck with it?
Oh, absolutely. His music is timeless. I Graduation, I mean, that album was and still is one of my top albums to date just to throw on and like I mean, I think he said it best in an interview, like, wants to be like the shot of coffee for somebody in the morning when they listen to his music, and that's what he's partially for me. I love me, like, I like newer age shit, but I love older music too, and I like going back to, like, my older reminiscent phases, and, like, Kanye definitely is a piece of that, I love his music, I always loved his beats. I always thought his compositions were outstandingly different compared to what was, going on at the time. It might be not so crazy now because we've heard it, but at the time it was revolutionary. OD.
Yo, I don't know. You didn't finish maybe the interview, but in the interview, he said that the industry set up Drake on purpose, because really he said Drake is 1,000 times more talented and more important than Kendrick Lamar. And,
Really?
and they used Kendrick Lamar just as a pawn, you know what I'm saying, to show the world that, look, we can like take out this superstar like nothing, you know what I'm saying? But
Right. I
I
mean,
want to know
but
what
that
you
could be a thing.
I want to know what you think, though, because you kind of had, you were critical also of the Kendrick Lamar like beat choice or whatever and shit. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that statement that Drake is 1,000 times more talented and 1,000 times more important culturally?